My dear friend, let me invite you to sit back, relax, and allow these words to gently flow into your heart. Because today, we are not just talking about numbers on a calendar or the simple fact of growing older, but rather about the deeper journey of life itself and what truly happens when you reach the remarkable age of 80. Whether you like it or not, whether you welcome it with joy or approach it with hesitation, crossing into your 80s brings with it changes that no one can escape. But within those changes lies beauty, wisdom, and meaning, if only we pause long enough to see it. You see, turning 80 is not just another birthday. It is a milestone that very few are fortunate enough to reach. To live 8 full decades means you have seen the world change, perhaps in ways you never imagined when you were young. You have witnessed joys and sorrows, beginnings and endings, triumphs and struggles. And with all of that, your body, your mind, and your very spirit have transformed. So let us take this journey together to explore the 5 undeniable shifts that happen once you turn 80. And as we walk through them, I invite you not to think of them as losses, but as invitations. Invitations to live more slowly, more thoughtfully, and more gratefully than ever before. The first change, and perhaps the one most visible to the world, is that the body begins to slow down. It is no secret that with each passing year, muscles lose strength, bones become lighter, and energy seems to fade more quickly than it once did. At 40, you may have felt unstoppable, climbing stairs without a second thought. At 60, you may have noticed yourself pausing for breath. But by 80, every step becomes intentional. Something as simple as walking across a room or bending down to pick up a dropped pen may feel like a task. Balance becomes delicate, and the body whispers reminders that it needs rest more often. Yet here lies a gift hidden in the slowing down. For the body that once rushed from one task to another, that carried burdens, chased goals, and ran through life without stopping, now insists that you move with gentleness. It asks you to honor it, to treat it with care. And in this slowing, life itself slows. The small details, the sound of birds in the morning, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the laughter of a child are no longer rushed past. They are noticed, savored, and cherished. The body may not be what it once was, but it has carried you faithfully through every chapter of your story. And at 80, it deserves your gratitude, not your frustration. The second change takes place in the mind. Memory, once sharp and quick like a flashing light, begins to soften. You may find that names slip from your tongue, dates escape your grasp, and sometimes the details of today blur more easily than the memories of long ago. At times, this can be frustrating. Misplacing keys, forgetting a conversation, or losing your train of thought may leave you feeling vulnerable. Yet even as the sharp edges of memory soften, something else begins to shine more brightly: the wisdom of the heart. Because wisdom is not the same as memory. Wisdom is not about remembering what happened on a particular date or the exact words someone once said. Wisdom is the deep understanding that comes only from living, from experiencing love and loss, from making mistakes and learning, from facing hardship and finding strength. At 80, you may not remember every detail, but you remember what matters: the feeling of love, the importance of kindness, the value of patience. Your heart recalls what the mind forgets. And this wisdom, my dear friend, is more valuable than any detail ever could be. The third change you may notice is in the size of your social circle. In the earlier chapters of life, friends are plenty. Schoolmates, neighbors, colleagues, relatives. The days are filled with familiar voices and bustling gatherings. But by the time you reach 80, the circle naturally becomes smaller. Friends and loved ones may have passed away. Family members may live far away, caught up in the busyness of their own lives. The gatherings that were once noisy and crowded may now feel quiet. And sometimes loneliness may try to knock at your door. And yet this shrinking circle also brings with it clarity. It teaches you who truly matters. The friends who remain, even if they are few, are the ones who are genuine, loyal, and true. The family members who take the time to call or visit are the ones who hold you closest in their hearts. And though the circle is smaller, it is stronger. There is peace in smaller gatherings, joy in deeper conversations, and love in simple moments shared. At 80, you learn that it is not the number of people around you that matters, but the quality of the connections you still hold. The fourth shift, and one you will notice every day, is that health becomes the center of life. Doctor appointments, medications, tests, and checkups become part of the rhythm of the week, where once you may have rushed out of the house without a second thought. Now you plan around your health, food choices, sleep, exercise. These are no longer casual decisions but daily priorities. The truth is, at 80, health is fragile. The body requires more care, and sometimes illnesses or conditions appear without warning. But here too lies a quiet blessing. For when health becomes the focus, gratitude naturally follows. Every day you wake up without pain. Every step you take without struggle. Every breath you take with ease becomes a reason to give thanks. At 80, life itself feels more precious because you understand how delicate it truly is. The gift of health, even in its imperfect form, reminds you to appreciate every heartbeat, every sunrise, and every moment you are given. And finally, the fifth change, perhaps the most profound of all, is the shift into reflection and legacy. At 80, the chase is over. You are no longer running after promotions, possessions, or recognition. Instead, you begin to look back, to reflect on the road you have traveled. You think of the choices you made, the lessons you learned, the people you loved, and the memories you created. Reflection becomes your daily companion, not with regret, but with gratitude. And along with reflection comes the desire for legacy, to leave behind something meaningful for those who come after you. This legacy may not be written in money or material possessions. It may be written in the wisdom you share with your grandchildren, the stories you tell to your family, the kindness you show to neighbors, or even the example you set of how to age with grace. Your legacy is not what you owned, but what you gave, your love, your wisdom, your laughter, and your spirit. And long after you are gone, those gifts will live on in the hearts of those who knew you. So, my dear friend, these are the 5 things that happen when you turn 80, whether you like it or not. The body slows down, the mind changes, the circle of friends grows smaller. Health becomes the focus and reflection takes center stage. Yet within these changes lies a hidden truth. Aging is not just about loss. It is about gain. You gain perspective, gratitude, patience, and peace. You gain the ability to slow down and see beauty in small things. You gain the understanding that love is the only true treasure we carry. If you are blessed to live to 80, then you are blessed indeed. For you have not only survived, you have thrived. You have loved, you have learned, and you have lived through seasons that many never reach. And while the years may change your body and mind, they also shape your heart into something stronger, softer, and wiser. So embrace the journey, celebrate the milestone, and remember, every wrinkle is a story, every gray hair a crown of experience, and every day at 80 is a gift worth cherishing. Because in the end, the question is not how many years you have lived, but how much life you have poured into those years. And if you are 80, you have poured in a lifetime. And that, my dear friend, is something truly extraordinary.